Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legacymakers Podcast. We are so thankful that you're here. And hey, I just want to let everyone know we are a family. Legacymakers is a family, and you're part of our family. If you're listening to this, we love you. We're thankful for you. And we're just so glad that you're tuning in. We're excited for this topic today. Today, we're talking about the seasons that we all go through, and really how to have grace for ourselves in the seasons that we go through. I think one of the things that's easy to kind of slip into with families, maybe it kind of depends on where you live, but especially around here, we're in Orange County, and I think it's easy for families to compare themselves to other families. And, especially when we're like, maybe we're in a season where things just seem crazy or busy, or maybe we're in a season where we don't have what we think we should have. And it's easy to look outside and see other families and see like, oh, wow, look what they got. Or wow, they must have it great, or must be easy for them. But I think really what we want to talk about today is just like be at peace and like have grace for where you're at as a family, and give yourselves a break. Because we're all in seasons, and everyone's in their own season, and you don't know. But
what do you think is like the line between, or like the transition between, having grace for the season you're in, and also remaining intentional in whatever season you're in? Where that like intentionality looks different depending on where you're at and what your family has going on. And so you have grace amidst that, but like still having an intentional and healthy mindset.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think it comes down to like you're in a place wherever you are, like whatever season you're in this time and space. And at the same time, ideally, like you have an idea of where you want to be, just through your own conversations with your spouse and your own dreams and goals, and I think there's a like there. It's okay to have both, like to have like a crazy season, you're having grace, and you have to accept like maybe there's just a reality, like you're not where you want to be yet. And there's certain realities, like maybe there's just financial constraints, maybe there's just circumstantial constraints or whatever. And it's like, okay, we know where we want to go, but we know like where we are isn't quite there yet, but it's okay. But we can still make steps. We can still make moves in our lives to continue through this season and into the next one. However long it is, whatever it looks like.
Yeah, I think when I asked that, I was thinking more of like the seasons of like when, your job changes and you just have a new baby and you just moved across the country or something like that. Like, knowing that you're not going to be able to do everything that you were doing before. So having grace for that, but like still maintaining a level of intentionality in your health and your time with the Lord, and like I think that's what I was thinking of more.
Yeah, I'm reminded of this funny instance I kind of had at our men's group the other day, and this is it's a joke, but it was pretty funny, and I thought it was funny. Yeah. So anyway, I was talking about in my men's group how I'm just like, I just feel like I've been in this season where I've just, ever since we've had our son, he was born, I've just kind of been out of habit in my morning routine, and it's been hard to get up and get up early because it's been hard to get sleep, and I just feel like I'm just out of the routine. And this is a joke. I didn't. This isn't real, but so I was like hypothetically thinking this. Anyway, someone asked me in the group. They're like, "Well, how old's your son?" And I'm like, "Oh, he's 8." And everyone just laughed. Obviously, I was joking, but I was like, "Oh, what if it was 8?" But anyway,
That does happen sometimes to people.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you get in a rut, and then it's like, wow. You wake up and you're awake in the moment. It's like 8 years later, and it's like, where'd the time go? How did this happen? How did we get here?
Haven't opened my Bible in 8 years.
Exactly. Hey, it's possible for sure. But I think having the point is, like, yes, seasons like that are okay, and they're going to happen, but you can't stay there. Like, I can't just forever, like, I need to, like, get my butt in gear and get my feet under me, whatever it takes. If I need, like, some sort of jolt, you can't stay there. Like, you have to get back to what you need to be doing. Like, for example, like if I have the mindset in my mind, like, I want to be, I take my physical health, like, pretty seriously. And so in this specific instance that I was describing, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something to really just get myself back in motion. So I started doing this program called 75 Hard, which is, it's kind of funny. It's kind of cliche, but I was like, I just need to do something. I need to, like, jolt myself. I need, like, a defibrillator shock, because whatever I was doing, like, it's just not working. And so I needed to, like, get my butt in gear. So I did that, and now I'm kind of back on track. And, so there's, like, things like that where you just have to decide, like, okay, you got to just jolt yourself. You got to make the tough decision and just get yourself some accountability and just go do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think that's good. Like, thinking about kind of the original thing I asked of, like, the transition between a season of, challenge where you have a little bit more grace for yourself, and then needing to become more intentional again.
Yeah.
But I think even in the midst of challenging seasons, like, what have you found to be helpful to maintain a healthy mindset amidst a season that you do have to have grace for yourself and you do have to cut back in things, but still maintaining health amidst that?
In all areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you found to be helpful?
Yeah, it's a good question. Church. For sure. Mm-hmm. Going to church, our faith community, committing to some sort of rhythms, whether it's church, whether it's small group. I would say, yeah. I mean, those are the biggest things. I think community is a huge one in those seasons. And I mean, besides, like, maybe there's, like, some personal disciplines, like reading scripture and spending time with the Lord. And I don't know, what about you? Like, what are some things that you do? Curious.
I think, like, thinking of those core rocks of what are important to maintain health for you, and, like you said, health in all areas, like in your relationship with God, in your relationships with others, in your physical health, in all of those things, like realizing what those core things are and how to still have those space for them, but then the grace comes in of it looking different than it did before. So I think a lot of times when we get into different seasons that are more challenging, we can, like, have this expectation of wanting it to be how it was before. Like, take your relationship with God, for example. Like, we think that we have to have, like, a quiet time every morning, or we have to have this certain amount of prayer, or this certain amount of time in our Bible, or, be doing a certain Bible study, something like that is, like, what we have enjoyed in the past. And so we think that that needs to maintain in order to have a strong relationship with God. But I think the grace in the season is recognizing that it can change and still be good. It can be different and still good. But then the health comes in those challenging seasons of still doing something, even if it's really different. So, like, you still have time to pray, find time. Maybe you're only praying while you're doing dishes, or, like, maybe you're only reading one verse a day and thinking about it all throughout the day, as opposed to reading your Bible for 20 minutes in the morning, like, I have found that to be helpful, especially in having lots of children. Like, with each kid, it totally throws off when you have a newborn what your time looks like. So you're sleep deprived.
Yeah.
It's harder to work out. It's harder to have time with the Lord. It's harder to make time with friends. So I think I've seen how being able to still have those things, but like learning how to do them differently has really been helpful, because it still
That's good.
maintains that level of what I need in order to like continue having a balanced life and not getting wrapped up in the challenge of the season, but having grace for it not being the same as I would maybe want, or for a time.
How do you go about waiting for the time to come, like waiting for the right time to come back to really, re-engage how you want to engage?
Like, how do I behave in the waiting, or like how do I know when the waiting's over?
Well, how do you deal with it? And like, let's say it's like we have a young family, so it's like we have kids in the house and you're homeschooling. Could be 18 years until you get back to where you want to be. Like, how do you deal with that? How do you wait that long?
Well, I think that's where the grace comes in. Like,
that's good.
Yeah, I think I have seen how my mindset has changed in that time frame. And so I guess what I want or what I expect or long for is not the same as it was 11 years ago. Wow, that's crazy. It's already been 11 years, but it could be another 18.
Dude, yeah.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's like a journey with the Lord. Like those things just change over time.
Yeah.
And if you're staying in it with the Lord, then he points out the things that you can still do, or the ways that it can change, I feel like I've just really grown in contentment. I think like 11 years ago, my relational needs with friends was way higher than it is now. And I still love being with friends and I still seek that, but I don't know. I've become more content with less of that, and also finding some of those needs in different ways. Like even with my kids, like those relational needs can be met in time with my kids too. Or it's just less.
How do you feel like what has enabled you to grow in contentment?
What has enabled me to grow in contentment? The Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess like practicing. I actually do think there's a level of like reframing your mindset. You know how Romans 12 talks about, do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be renewed.
Yeah.
By renewed by the.
No, but be transformed.
Be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
I'm like, wait.
Yeah. So I do think like learning how to change what your thoughts are and your thought patterns.
Yeah.
It allows you to have an attitude of contentment a lot more, because it's really easy to dwell on negative things and to be like, oh, I wish I could do this, or oh, I never get to have an hour of prayer time alone with God anymore, and dwelling on that instead of then switching that thought with something else of, no, I could pray while I'm nursing the baby tonight, or I could, just, it's easy to dwell in discontent, and it takes changing what our thoughts are in order to become more content, and noticing those thought patterns that lead us down a road of comparison or jealousy or so I think eliminating some of those things has helped me be more content.
I'm just thinking in terms of like, how do you fight the performance mentality? I mean, I feel like it's so beautiful, like hearing that, and I've seen it, witnessed it, what you've been able to like mentally kind of come around to, and it could be just because I'm a man, and so it's like I see things more black and white. I see things like I should be here. This is not happening. I should, whatever it is, or my like time with the Lord should look like this. Like just more logical, and let's create this system and let's get it done. But it's like the reality is it's not always going to be the way you want it to be. Mm-hmm. And so,
well, I think it never will be.
Yeah. So like, how do you what do you have to say to that? How do you coach someone into having like almost a heart change towards like this renewed heart around like peace, and like you're just at peace. You're gracious. You're full of grace for where you're at
in different seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I just feel like you've done it so well.
Thoughts on that? I mean, the thing that comes to mind is just having the perspective of being on journey with God. Like I think of in Psalm 84, it talks about we're on pilgrimage. I love that psalm. It's a verse in there is Camden's life verse too. But
yeah,
I remember being on a backpacking trip. It was my first backpacking trip. And I think the whole trip we studied that psalm, Psalm 84. And
with the one with Camden, or this is a different one?
Yeah. No, not the backpacking trip with Camden. This is when I was 17.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And yeah, we were backpacking for a week, and the whole week we just dove into that psalm about being on pilgrimage to the Lord and dwelling in the courts of the Lord. And it just like really impacted me. You know, we're talking about being on pilgrimage with the Lord and dwelling in his courts and dwelling with him while on this pilgrimage of our own. We like walked across we got dropped off, I don't know, like 100 miles away from where we were living. And we just walked through the forest all the way back.
100 miles?
I don't remember how far it was. 100 miles is in my mind, but that seems really far, right? Maybe it wasn't that. It was 7 days of walking all day.
Wow.
But I think that has ingrained in me this idea of our life is this pilgrimage with the Lord, and it's not like it's all these boxes to check off or this thing to get to this certain goal. It's really like walking with the Lord through whatever is coming and dwelling with him and focusing on his presence and his life amidst whatever we're walking through. Whatever we're walking through, like the horrible mountain you cannot take another step up, and also the like beautiful lake that you see sprawling before you, that he's on pilgrimage with us. And so I think that, I mean, his presence is where peace is. So I think learning how to seek his presence amidst all of those seasons is of course going to bring more peace to our hearts and lives. But I feel like that's a really up here concept and not super helpful.
Yeah, but I feel like there's some truth in that. And I think that's the truth, like what you said. And I was curious too, like what other things does the Lord say, or what other things does the Bible say about seasons that go against the world culture? Would you say?
Well, I do think like in Ecclesiastes too, how it talks about there's a season for everything, you know, a time for mourning, a time for weeping, a time for rejoicing, a time for dancing. I think that reality is so true, like knowing that everything is temporary.
Yeah.
And you know, that book is so cynical and so like everything is meaningless, but I actually love it because it's true. Like everything is just so passing, and there is no meaning in this world apart from God. And so it's true to just think like, you know, even in the really, really hard seasons, like you're not going to stay there forever. And also knowing in the really, really good seasons, this is probably not going to last. So just really enjoy it. Like be filled with joy and enjoy it as much as you can, because, you know, it's not going to last. There's going to be really hard times that come ahead. So having that mentality is, I think, not cynical. It's actually super helpful.
Why do you think it's so hard for people, parents, dads, moms, to like have grace for where they're at?
Well, I think you're right what you said, that I think a lot of times we want to be somewhere else. We want to be in a different season. We want it to end. We want to be further along than we are. And so it makes it hard to just be present. Yeah. Be present where you're at. And I think that's where, I mean, the more practical things that we were talking about, of like thinking about what you have, in what creative ways can you still have time with God, and what creative ways can you still have time with friends, and how can you have time to keep your body healthy amidst those seasons is, you know, that's that's only possible to think through those things if we're accepting the season that we are in and being present in it. And then we can think through how you can maintain that in that season.
Yeah, well, it leads me to kind of my point of like, okay, well, how do we actually know what season we're in so that we can actually start having grace for it, grace for ourselves? Like, are we in a season? Are you in a season where you're experiencing more stress, or maybe you're experiencing certain loss or dissatisfaction, or are you in a season of bliss or peace or abundance? And then, like you said, like how do you regulate yourself without having to ride the tides, the ups and downs, the roller coasters of each season? How do you just kind of stay regulated through each one, both good and bad, so that you're not swinging so much emotionally and dealing and like reeling and, you know.
Do you have an answer for that?
Well, my thought was like, well, first of all, I think there's, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that there's really only 2 seasons that everyone on average has. Now, obviously you can describe and, you know, add some color commentary to each season wherever you're at, but I think there's really only 2, and either you're in a season of like just increased stress or you're in a season of peace. I think ultimately, even like in culture and history, it's like there's wartime and then there's peacetime. There's wartime and then there's peacetime. And who knows what?
That was like a very broad category.
Very broad. Yeah, of course.
So lots of things fall into the
they're
stress.
generalized. It's a generalized category. Now you could have like, when I say stress, I mean...
I still think there's seasons of waiting. I think that's separate.
Oh, it is?
I think it's not necessarily stress. I guess it's like a challenge. You could throw that into stress, I guess.
Yeah, I feel
but I think sometimes you're just waiting.
How would you describe a season of waiting?
I mean, maybe it's still in one of those, because you could be waiting and it could still be peaceful. And you could be waiting and it could be super hard. See, that's where I think so much of it is really dependent upon your mindset.
Yes.
I think it's not necessarily circumstantial. A lot of it is your mindset, because some things that are stressful to some people are not stressful to others.
Yep.
So like moving across the country, for some people, it would be a huge stress and they would call that a season of stress. And for others, it would be like a wild adventure and they're loving it.
Yeah, that's good.
So I get what you're saying, though. I do agree that there is, in broad category, 2 different seasons.
Yeah, and exactly. But you're right. Like someone might not have the same exact experience as someone else. But by and large, it's like even the person that is having a great time moving across the country, like they're still going to have a stressful season.
Because there's so much to change and do. And well,
maybe not necessarily specifically related to moving, but just generally like
something else would be stressful.
Something else could be stressful for them. But it looks different for everybody. But I think back to the point is, how do you, which you've kind of already answered it, but you know, how do you maintain your mindset, your health, your aspect on life and perspective of life in every season, so that there is grace in every season, you know? And you've said it beautifully. So
thank you. Yeah.
It's good.
I think it's something we can all grow in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you have it, guys. Make sure to listen to this episode. It's a good one. We'll see you next time.
They just listened to it if they heard that.